There is a beauty that comes, that only comes, when you know exactly who you are. You're glorious. When you know the power of your own divinity. To be fully human and fully divine. I am divine. Every single thing about you is beautiful. Every single thing about you is beautiful. I am divine. I am divine. Every single thing. I am fully human. Every single thing. I am amazing. Every single thing. I am brilliant. Every single thing. I am gorgeous. Every single thing. You are glorious. Every single thing. You are beauty. Every single thing. You are light. Every single thing. You are every single thing. You are magic. About you is beauty. Every single thing about you is every single thing. Every single thing about you is glorious. Every single thing your breath is your every single thing. It is the clearest, most distinctive reminder that you are spirit in human form. About it is the core to remind you about you is beauty. So now, let's take a breath. Breathe in. You are glorious. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. Breathe in. You are wisdom. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Your breath is your power tool. Every single thing about you is beautiful. It is your righteous alignment. Every single thing about technician. Every single thing about you. It reminds you that you are spirit. Every single thing about you is righteous. It reminds you that you are spirit in right alignment with yourself. It reminds you that you are eternal. Breathe. It reminds you, it reminds you, it reminds you, it reminds you. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out.
Greetings, one and all. Happy winter solstice today. Today is the winter solstice, and I'd like to share something with you today. I'm going to speak on the guidelines / guidelines for 2023. First, I'm going to check out a website or share with you a website about the winter solstice. And you can, of course, touch on other people. But in the chat, I will be sharing the website. Please share, like this video, because there's a guideline from my perspective about 2023. And every number is supposed to be looked at and interpreted for the benefit of all of us. But those that are awakening and clear in what they want to do and what they want to accomplish moving forward, it's very important. So this is my link tree, of course, on the bottom there, Linktree / King Simon the Numerovator. And in the chat, I'm going to put this in there right now, so you can actually go and check out the winter solstice meaning, spiritual meaning of winter solstice from their perspective, from exploredeeply.com. So you could read, I'm not going to read the full thing, but I want to read part of it. And it says, the light of the sun begins a new solar cycle at winter solstice. The rays shine into the dark and nurture the newborn life, there to be cultivated. This is mirrored in nature and the nature of life all around us. As the seeds are buried in the darkness of earth, they emerge once again with the life giving sun rays of the sun. At this time in the northern hemisphere, we are experiencing the largest or the longest and darkest nights of the year and the shortest days with the least amount of daylight. The dark triumphs over the light, but this signifies a turning point. Winter solstice 2022 in the northern hemisphere will be at 4:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 10:47 p.m. Central European Time on Wednesday, December the 21st, marking the first day of winter. In winter, everything lies dormant in the silent earth. It is a sacred time of rest and reflection before the awakening and the slow build towards brighter days. The energy of winter is that of going within. It's the fruitful darkness and silence out of which our souls yearning and new inspirations can eventually emerge. As we consciously link our awareness to nature's cycle, our understanding of our own personal growth cycles begin to deepen. Why do we spend so much time suppressing and hiding our darkness? When negative emotions come up and we feel them, they're inconvenient, uncomfortable, or worse, we make ourselves wrong for feeling them. Maybe even our way of enlightenment. By allowing ourselves to feel our emotions, experience our own darkness, the darkness itself can become a spiritual cradle into which our inner light and new life is born. Very powerful words. Then it goes on to say about the winter solstice, allow your feelings to guide you because your feelings are the truth. Allow your feelings to guide you because your feelings are the truth. What a powerful saying. So we're going to speak about the guidelines slash guidelines of 2023, as you see up in the front there of that flyer. And if you want to read more, go to the link that I just posted up there in the live chat, exploredeeply.com/live your purpose. Winter solstice, spiritual meaning. Very good, very insightful. I like how the writer is taking you on a journey. Then the writer goes on to say, winter solstice is a great stillness before the sun's strength builds and days grow longer. It can be a time to rest and reflect. And it goes on, but I'm not going to read it all because it's a long, long article. And I want to welcome each and every one of you here to my broadcast. And again, it's very important that you recognize there is a guideline for a guideline and a guideline for every year. But because people are talking about what's to come, and as I have said, and people like Lloyd Strayhorn have said, that each year represents a different cycle. And we have to be respectful to each of those cycles and use those cycles appropriately as a guiding apparatus for each and every one of them, because each one of those cycles can and will affect us, both positive and negative, if we do not learn to use them appropriately and learn to navigate better. And I want people to share this live right now, because this is going to be it's going to be basic, simple, straight to the point, as I only know I can do it. And as people know that I can do it. I want to welcome all my new viewers. Thank you very much for making my channel go up. I have like another 3,000 going on 4,000 followers. And the view time is 2.4 million view times, not viewers, but 2.4 million view times. So the time of viewing, and that could, when you see those type of numbers, you know that people watches it over or watch to learn or whatever. Yeah, I'm going to come up in the screen momentarily. But again, the topic this morning, as we're falling upon in the 11 time span here in on the East Coast, it's 11:01, 11:02. The guidelines and guidelines of 2023. And if you notice, I put the .2.0.2.3. And I'm gonna show some books, get their interpretation, and then break it down myself and add on. Because I'm not gonna take away from none of these great authors that I'm gonna share with you. Some old, some new, some Indian, some European, some melanated, myself, of course, Lloyd. I'm gonna touch on some stuff. And I want to say, let me show my face, because I know. Good morning. You see, my board is in back, so I might even go on the board. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in, and in whatever part of the world you're tuning in. Thank you very much for joining King Simon Presents Only Quality People. And it's been a very hectic, but holistic evening, because I'm preparing for some business meetings coming up, some business unification. Had a nice business conversation with another one of my business partners as we're going into 2023, which adds up to a number 7. It's important to know that each number that you say constantly is a reminder of the vibration of that particular number, the theme. A lot of numerologists, I'm the Numerovator, so I'm a little different, because I learned to look at numbers from a holistic perspective. So when I see 2023, like you have on the board here, not on the board behind me. So why I put 20.0.2.3, and yes, it does equals 7. Yes, it does equal 7. So everybody's right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's right. It's 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7. Yes, it does. And 7 in mystic systems have been called, known as the God energy. I know it's early in the morning on a Wednesday. Forgive me for those that can't make it, or those that are watching who would watch later on. My spirit told me to come on and do it around the 11 o'clock hour. So, in a 7, according to Vedic numerology, in a 7-year cycle, And big up to Harish Jahari. In a 7-year cycle, if you're falling under a 7-year personal cycle for yourself or 7 in general, because 2023 adds up to the number 7. The negative, and I want to start off with the lower frequency of it, is misunderstandings and difficulties. Difficulties in business, more work, less profit. But it does say that people that are connected to that number 7 or is in a 7 life path or this 7-year cycle that we're going in, this 7 universal cycle, says success in such things as court dates or lawsuits. And he goes on to say, this is a year that a lot of people will be tested. A lot of your friends, your family around you will be tested. Because remember, the number 7 is one of the primary numbers of revelations, things being revealed, secrets coming to the top. One of my things that I'm going to do as I'm going into the 7 is expand. Because remember, if you've ever watched myself or Lloyd Strayhorn, remember the crossroad years are the 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we're going into the 7 universal cycle. And so it is going to be the last crossroad years. Last crossroad years of the crossroad. And some people get all testy and crazy and talk about crossroad. Oh my God, crossroad. Especially when I'm dealing with clients. They always look at crossroad. Oh my God, what a crossroad. What does the word crossroad? There's 2 words, crossroads. That means cross the road. Be decisive, not indecisive. And sometimes when you're going into a year like the number 7, because the number 7 is an energy of people that think too much and think too deeply. And sometimes they think so much that they think their way out of things. They got to be very mindful on how they're thinking, because on the other hand of thinking too deeply and thinking their way out of things and being indecisive with a 7 energy looming around the whole year coming up, on the higher frequency spiral of that number 7 is meditation, reflection, introspection of your good and your bad, your positive and your negative, your ups and your downs, those that you need in your life and don't need in your life. That's a 7, and it's a water number. So water is here to cleanse. And we got to look out for the waters, because every time a 7-year cycle came in, one of the major 7-year cycle, Indonesia got hit with a tsunami. Water. Pay attention to the water in a 7-year water cycle, because 7 is a water number. So if you start seeing a lot of things dealing with water, or people losing water, or another set of dirty water, look, I mean, Google up some of the main events in the years that added up to the 7 whether it's 2005, 2014, you'll see the major events connected to hurricanes, which deals with water and all that kind of stuff, or the Indonesia effect that happened in Indonesia, the tsunami got hit with water, and things that happen in certain areas. These are cycles. That's why I tell people this is not psychic, but it can reveal some of it can seem like it's psychic, because it does tell some type of fortune, or say predict something going on, or what's the theme of that year could be, because these cycles come back around for you to spiral out, because it helps you to navigate better. And feel free to send PayPal or Cash App. You see I got the links on top of me there, on the top, KSP TV, paypal.me/King Simon. King Simon, the Cash App is King Simon 3158. So it's very important that that we recognize what's happening. And the great Harish Jahari, who passed on in 1990, a brother from India, He said the number 7 year, which is ruled by Ketu, and Ketu is like similar to Neptune, so to speak. That's in Indian Vedic numerology. It's similar to Neptune, and it says this is the year that friends, family, and people around you are going to be tested, because sometimes they need to be tested. Sometimes you need to test people to find out who they are, because 7-year cycles reveal things. Things come to the surface. Things that you've been hiding come to the surface. That's one of the numbers of revelation next to the number 11. 7-11. You know what I'm saying? And what's so interesting about that is 11 adds up to the number 2. And on the other side of the 7 is always the number 2, both water signs that deals with revealing in certain aspects of each. So everything has its own perspective. So in a 7-year cycle, according to Indian Vedic numerology, avoid unnecessary discussion. Very important. Unnecessary, low frequency discussion should be put out of the way and thrown away. Don't let people bring you down. Like the great Les Brown said, born on February the 17th, he got that 7 with him, and that's one of his favorite numbers, 7. He's spoken about that before. Like the great Les Brown said one time, he said, when things go wrong, don't go with them. When things go wrong in your family and they try to drag you in, or things go wrong with your children, they try to pull you in, especially if you're trying to raise to a higher level. When things go wrong, don't go with them. In a 7-year, you're supposed to observe and not absorb. Let me repeat that again, because I say it a lot to a lot of my clients, especially when they have a lot of water numbers and water frequency. And please share, like this broadcast. Come on now, you know what it is. Even if they're not able to watch, they're working at this time. Thumb up, share, and like this broadcast to build the algorithms. And remember, sharing is caring. If you really respect what I'm saying, don't come on here and waste my time, because this is King Simon Presents Quality People. You're not going to hear no debates and arguments up here. You're going to hear knowledge from my perspective, my studies, and my research, and on a world basis. So please like, share, subscribe, to be respectful to your brother. Because remember, sharing is caring. Nobody puts that on their broadcast. Sharing is caring, because once you share this type of applied mathematical knowledge, it can be helpful to your family, your friends, your children, because all of us are connected to these frequencies. It's just that we need to learn how to use them better and get ourselves out of some troubles and some foolishness. And yes, you can circulate funds. There it is on the bottom, and it's on the top. Cash App and PayPal, if you enjoy what I'm saying and what I'm doing. But again, the topic, before I say the topic, the Linktree, if you want to buy any of my books or get to all of my websites and all that, or book a session with me, you can text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496. But you'll see it in the Linktree, Linktree/King Simon, the Numerovator. And those that are just tuning in, I just read and shared some spiritual meanings of winter solstice, because we're in the winter solstice now, but it's a time of reflection, going within and all that, because it appears that the sun have rested. And big up to Akibalan 44. He speak about the 17, which he got from his perspective is very good of what he's saying. And I have another perspective that can only add on to what the brother says, especially when it comes to the 0 point and things resting within that 17, because that 1 through 7, if you look at the spiritual meaning, especially from biblical perspective, God created heaven and earth from 1 to 6 and rested on the 7th day. So that 1 and 7 is very important, but also look at what it adds up to, which is an ancestral number of the 8, which deals with the spiraling clockwise, counterclockwise spiraling, and the clockwise spiraling of the number 8, 2 zeros on top, reflecting build and destroy energy. So it is a 0 point, no doubt. No doubt. 2 zeros, as a matter of fact, when you add the 1 and the 7. But big up to Akibalan. I think I'm supposed to be on with him and Brother Rich one day, so we can come from our perspective and how he sees the number and how I see the numbers. I keep it simple and straight to the point. I don't get too deep with people because I want children to understand it. And I want people to be able to take on this system, the simplicity of numbers, because many people are afraid of numerals. People are afraid of the numbers, and they should not be. They should make numbers their friend. And once you learn to make numbers your friend, guess what? The friends will help guide you and take you, just like your GPS. Everybody's using GPS now. Even if they know their way home, they're using the GPS. So, topic today is guidelines for 2023, 2023. And I'm going to touch on the angel numbers of this. I'm going to touch on the single digit numbers of this. I'm going to touch on the 20. I'm going to touch on the 23, because we're going to constantly say these numbers all year. 2023 or 23 is going to show up. Some people just put, the date as 12, 21, 23. So we're going to see this date next year all year, just like we've seen 222 or 2022 all year. And every one of those numbers has a frequency that can give you the guideline to what you need to do for yourself, because they all have a vibration that can take you where you got to go. I have learned so much. I've learned so much in studying the numbers. And thank you all that's coming on already. And, again, feel free to share this, whatever time you're watching this, whatever time you're looking at it, wherever you are in the planet Earth. And thank you again to all my new people that are all my new viewers. Thank you very much. Believe me, it's being a broadcaster. I'm not a podcaster. Being a broadcaster for so many years, it means a lot, because sometimes we can be on these, whether radio station or television station, and not know if anybody is viewing. They said one of the most craziest jobs is a radio personality, because you actually go into a studio, turn on your mic, and don't even know if anybody's listening, especially radio. And I've been on radio since 89, 89, 90s. So I was doing radio back in New York. So getting back to the topic, family, guidelines for 2023. And big up to Dr. B. Serious and Billy Carson, who's going to be doing that thing with Black Magic, Brother Rich, because 7 is a very significant number, just like every other number. But like I said, in the crossroads cycles of numerology and the study of astronumerology or numerovation, 7 is the last of the crossroads. So these are some definitive moments. And like I said, coming out of the Vedic book of numerology, and I'm going to touch on a few. I got the synchronicity book around me. I got the beginner's guide for divination. I got the angel numbers book around me. I got a 1931 book by Frederica, by Florence Campbell. She's been passed on years ago, but her information is significant, and I'm going to touch on them and then keep it moving. And anybody who want to come on and see what's significant for you, all you have to do is circulate some funds before you come on. Let's not play games here. I ain't playing with y'all. Matter of fact, it's $10 and up, 10, 15, 20, wherever you're going with it. If you want to come on, I will put the link in the chat, and you can come on and let's talk about how 7 can be effective to you, how it can help you in this 7 year, and what you need to do as a theme of the 7 year. We could talk about it briefly, probably for 2 or 3 minutes. But let me finish what I'm saying. In his book, he says, avoid unnecessary discussion, devote energy in the healing arts, astrology, practice of tantra magic, not in the sense of hocus pocus, dealing with the manifestation system of magic. And hypnosis is a very good year. So this is a very good year to get into hypnosis. So big up to Kendall Cobb and big up to Sister Adrian that does hypnotherapy. Very good year. 2023 is a very good year that adds up to a 7, is a very good year that says you should get into hypnosis or learning it for yourself. It's all right. There's nothing wrong with studying the mind and hypnosis, because hypnosis go back, if you Google it, because Google can be your friend, like Dr. Africa told me years ago. If you Google it, you'll find that hypnotherapy goes back into Kemet, goes back into Africa, especially in those temples. So it's all right to take it on in this year, according to Vedic numerology. Then it says take fewer risk. Now, there's a double-edged sword with that. Why I say that? Why do I say that? I don't disagree with taking fewer risks, because 7 is more of a laid-back number where you're attracting and you're not chasing. So I see where Brother Harish Jahari is saying what he's saying. Take fewer risks, because you're supposed to attract the finance and not chase the finance in a number 7-year cycle. And the attraction is practicing the laws of attraction, practicing the astrology, the numerology, practice of the healing arts, because in a 7-year cycle for everybody, because next year we're going to be falling into that final crossroads of life. That is the year to take fewer risks, but take higher risk in learning your inner self and how you should attract certain energies to you. That's why in the beginning he says, be careful of misunderstandings and difficulties. The test of friends. Avoid unnecessary, unproductive discussions, trolling and drama and all that. And if you're a troll, y'all know on my platform what I say about trolls. I got it right here. This is what I say about trolls. Respectfully, this is a troll-free zone. So trolls, please take a stroll somewhere else. And once I've done the mathematics to trolls or trolling, and it adds up to a 4-4 sequence, and the 4 represents mental health. For you to talk bad about somebody you don't know, that has a form of mental health, and it has a lot to do with you as a troll. I just finished watching the movie of the troll. You don't want to be no ugly ass troll. I just watched the movie on Netflix about the trolls. Who wants to be a troll? Living in the mountain, living in the mountain of their mentality, holding things in, can't even come out to the light. You should watch that movie. Very significant if you apply it to what trolling has become in a mountainous way in this day and time. That movie is very interesting. That's why Dr. Phil Valentine and Brother KT, the Arch Degree, and people like C. Freeman L. and people like Azazel Bay, Azariah Bay used to tell us, and Bobby Hemmett and all of them used to tell us about movies and what to look within it and not just look at the exaggeration of it. So that's why I study movies. I go to movies to study these things. You know what I'm saying? So again, trolls, please stay away from me, because I don't bother you, don't bother me. We keeps it moving. Keeps it moving, baby. Keeps it moving. Now, going back to what I'm saying, and he goes on to say, and I'm coming from an Indian Vedic perspective and breaking it down. And and this is a good book to have if you don't have it. Numerology with Tantra, Ayurveda, and Astrology: The Key to Human Behavior. Very good book by Harish Jahari. But like I tell people all the time, when you buy books, whether you buy my book, a Lloyd book, try to learn to wittedly use your wit and add it to the vibration of the times, the days, and what's going on in your life, as well as other people around you. That's how you use my book. Because a lot of us just go into a book and look for our particular number. But remember, every number that shows up and that's constantly used on a daily basis become a quote unquote angel number, or what I call an angle that you can use to move and navigate which angle you're going to take. No matter what birthday you're born under, whatever number you might be connected to, each number can be used. So if Lloyd Strayhorn, one of my teachers and one of my friends for many years since the 80s, say that everybody gets a turn. Yes, everybody does get a turn. And yes, people born on the 7th, the 16th, and the 25th of the month, this next year is going to be your turn, no doubt. People connected to the sign of Cancer and Pisces on another level, it's going to be your turn also, no doubt. but also people's names that are added up to the number 7. My names are added up to the number 7. So I know I'm gonna take it to another height. I'm not going to be mentally depressed, because 7 is one of the mental health numbers that can depress you if you overthink and hold things in. If your alignment number or your pinnacle number is a 7, when you add the month plus the day, that is also significant too. If you're born on the 25th or the 16th or the 7th, that is going to be very significant. If your year that you're born under adds up to a 7, that's going to be very significant. If your life path is a 7, yes, the number 7 years. So there's a multitude of people that will feel the frequency of the 7. I can't make this stuff up. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Thanks to David Levy for that quote. But he goes on to say, be conscious in love affairs and romance. There are chances of getting a bad name. That's very significant. And this is coming out of Harish Johari's book. He passed on years ago. I think he was born May the 12th. Yeah, May the 12th, I believe his birthday was. And he passed on in 1990. He says about the 7-year cycle, be conscious in love affairs and romance. There are chances of getting a bad name. So you got to be careful of the people you bring around you in a 7-year cycle. Not everybody deserves to be in your space. And be respectful of that person. Have of people that you want to get into any type of love affairs or business with. It's very important that you pay close attention. For myself and everybody else, I know I'm making certain connections internationally now, so I'm going to make certain, especially into the Latino community. You see me bring on the Puerto Rican sister, Mystic Ivy. She's been on my show, making that connection because I want things to be translated into those languages for a reason, because my family is Afro-Cuban, Cubano. Most of my grandmother used to speak Spanish. My aunt used to speak Spanish. All of them used to speak Spanish. So I know I have a connection there. I got to make that connection. So Mystic Ivy is a significant part of a relationship that I'm building to make a next connection. Hey, look, everybody is being used. Let's be real. I'm going to be honest with people, because there's good usury and there's bad usury. That's why the great Sister Soldier says, you're either being used or you're useless. You're being used or you're useless. Whether it's bad or good, you're being used. In my perspective, my using of anybody is going to be reciprocal, because I'm just that humanitarian that loves to see people shine as well as I'm shining. So as I grow, they grow. As Lloyd grow, he grows, I grow. Just like what happened significantly when he did 19 Keys a show. Yo, Lloyd's numbers went up, my numbers went up. I knew that vortex was going to happen, because we're brothers here. You know, we've been doing this. And big up to Lloyd. He went up to 555,000 people watched that or reviewed that or watched it over the 19 Keys. And I'm going to be on that show too. He already said he wants me on. So when I get on, and I can wait till after my birthday, I'm good. For February, I'm good. Because I'm in my critical cycle right now. You want to do those things outside of your critical cycle. And I'll have my 1-800 number and all that stuff ready. So, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be doing it. We're going to do it. In the 7-year, again, he said, be conscious in love affairs and romance. There are chances of getting a bad name. And one thing you want to always be careful of is your name. Your name goes a long way, especially if you have children. I always tell my children to make sure you maintain a good name. You can, my son, he's gone to different events. And when they found out he was my son, they say, yo, King Simon's your father, yo, man, your father, yo. And I brought him to major events with major reggae artists. And Luciano said, yo, Luciano, the reggae artist, looked at him and said, yo, you have a good father, you have a good father, a good man, regardless of, my club escapades back in the day and not being there enough and all that. I'm a humanitarian. The theme of the Aquarian mind is like Dr. Spock. It's like, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one. That's been my mentality for years. I love to see people get along, and sometimes you negate your own family, you negate your children. And I'll always tell people I was not the best father because I was chasing the illusion of entertainment, radio production, and all that kind of stuff. I am a better person now that if they chose to talk to me more, they'll get a lot from me that can help them move and navigate, especially because I'm so much into the mystical arts of numerology and astrology and all these things. But again, Brother Harish, the late great Brother Harish of Indian numerology, did India's numerology. Be conscious in love affairs and romance. There are chances of getting a bad name. And then the last but not least, what he said, remain optimistic and undisturbed. If one desires success in jobs undertaking, a patient and optimistic attitude will solve problems and remove obstacles. The difficulties are only tests. So yes, the number 7 year can bring tests, but you got, like I said earlier, observe, but don't absorb. When things go wrong, don't go with them. Be in the world, but not of the world. Understand that's what 7 reflects, because it's a number of introspection and reflection of what you did right and what you did wrong. As if you understand the test that you're going through, there's nothing that's a curse to you. It's all tests. Sometimes a test is hard. Sometimes a test is easy, but it's all about passing the test. Ashe to that. Everybody put up the number 7 in the chat. Put the number 7 in the chat if you bear witness to what I'm saying. Put the number 7 in the chat if you bear witness to what I'm saying. Put the number 7 in the chat if you bear witness to what I just said. It could be a hard test or an easy test. But if you're willing to take the test and study for the test, because 7 is a research number, you got to research in the 7 year. You got to dot all I's and cross every T in the 7 year. You got to dot I's, cross T's in the 7 year. You got to dot it. And then on the bottom, he says, this will also be a good year for healers, astrologers, and those involved with the occult science. So people like Brother Panic should shine even more. People like Phil Valentine and Brother Rich, myself, Lloyd, all of us. Look, I'm telling you, we've been in the sneak peek months since September. Since the end of September, we've been in the sneak peek months of what's supposed to be revealed in the 7 year cycle. September, October, November, December are the sneak peek months. And look, Lloyd, born on the 16th, went on, which is a 7, went on. What his broadcast came on November 20th, which is one of the numbers that supports the number 7. And he is flying. He said, man, he told me off air, he said, yo, I didn't know he had that many followers. So he must be, Lloyd is busy. But what I noticed, his IG went up, and as his IG, my IG went up, because it was a trickle-down vortex effect for those that are into the system or the studies of numerology. Because usually when you start looking up Lloyd, you see a lot of Lloyd, but you're definitely going to find me in the midst of it, because I've interviewed him a few times. I've worked with him a few times. I promote him all the time because he's my elder. He's my Baba, and I love him. It's my brother. I love him. I'm going to love him to life. I love him to life. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to get into the occult science, and remember, don't get all shaky and crazy because of your religious mind. Occult only means mystery. And we all know that the mysteries of God is supposed to reveal. These are the times. The mystery of God, 7 is known as the God number. So a lot of stuff is going to be revealed. Stay focused. I am. That's for sure. I'm focused. I'm focused, man. I'm focused, man. Pick up to Chris Tucker. I'm focused, man. I'm focused. I'm focused. Because 7 looks like a right angle or an arrow pointing somewhere. If you look at the number 7, it looks like it's pointing. But in the flow lines of numerology, that's when you get into books like this, when you want to find out about the flow lines of numerology. Beginner's Guide for Divination. Very good book to have. There's no particular writer for this because there's a multitude of writers that put this together. It was a combination of writers that put this together from their own perspective and their own system, which I'm thinking about producing a book also like this from, because it's more, I think the majority is more, the Europeans. I think if I could get some of my brothers and sisters that know how to drop it in, and we could all share the wealth, that's a very powerful thing to do. So they gave me an ideal, and I'm just going to flip it and mix it up. Okay, so if you're going to get into these systems, take the time and do the research. Make time out do it for yourself, do it for your family, and do it and be respectful of the occult science, just like you're respectful for any religion, whether Islam, Christianity, or Hebrew or Judaism. Be respectful. Put some respect on it, because the spiritual realm is always working with the physical realm. And what you don't see physically, something is happening spiritually. Definitely something happening spiritually. No doubt about it. Nobody can tell me nothing else about it. Nobody can call it pseudo and all that kind of craziness. They don't know. You might as well say the air you're breathing is pseudo, because we don't know if it's air or it's nitrogen, oxygen, how many things. We call it air, but it's a multitude of things, and a multitude that's flying in the air, skin and, rat fecal matter. It depends on where you're at. Bird fecal matter. There's a whole bunch of, so we calling it air. So again, we got to be very careful of the words we throw out. So I'm going to put this book away. Good book to get if you want it in your collection. See if it's still available. I know Nicholas was selling it one time. Parish Jahari, very good. Brother was born May the 12th. I forgot what year, but I know he passed on in the 90s. This book. Oh, we're going to get into some synchronicity numbers. Woohoo, y'all don't know what your brother is about to get into with these synchronicities. That's why I keep on telling y'all to be careful. Be careful just giving 2023 to the number 7. Don't just give it to the number 7. It's the final result. Yes, no doubt. It's the final result. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7. No doubt. And let's start off with the number 7 in synchronicity book, because everybody is going to be saying it for 2023. 2023 equals 7. 2023 equals 7. 2023 equals 7. So it becomes a repetitive synchronicity and spiritual angel or angle number that we can use. And it even looks like an angle, for real. So let's look what she says. Anne Marie Uber, those that take Uber, I don't know if she owns it, but Anne Marie Uber, big up to her, wherever she's at. I respect these people. That's why I'm even acknowledged. The number 7 in her book says it's the number of the student. Lord of mercy and the understand. The number 7, 2023, this is going to be the year of the students. And what the students do, they are here to learn. They are here to learn. Let me say that again. They are here to learn. And she says, the answer always lies within. All seeking and searching in the outer world always come back to this. You may need some quiet time alone right now. If you cannot do this, then a form of it can be done while in the presence of others with quiet listening, acting, and as an observer to what is happening around you, or envisioning yourself acting in a play, realizing it is all a script. This helps you to detach from getting caught up in another person's issues and dramas right now. Let me stop right there, because I'm showing you how the Indian numerology verifies what this European sister or European woman is saying, energy is saying. She's saying exactly what he just said about this. He's saying we got to be very careful of connecting ourselves with people that want to go into drama. Like I said, the number 7 is the number of observing, but not absorbing. Don't take on that bullcrap. Matter of fact, 7, 2, 7, and 11 have to be very careful of energy vampires. Because energy vampires could be just like bad perfume, as I tell some of my clients. You could hug somebody and they got the nastiest smelling perfume you ever smelled in your life. And all of a sudden you smelling it at home. After you hug them, you've been an hour away from that person. All of a sudden you smelling that same perfume. So energy vampires can cling on to you and come home with you and down your energy. Your children can bring it home from school. Your husband can bring it home from work. You can bring it from other friends. Because energy vampires attach like a leech unless you learn to fend them off, move them off, keep it moving. So the number 7 year that we're going into, that 2023, the word, like she said in this book, Anne-Marie Uber says in her book, Synchronicity, the synchronicity is that it's the student number and you're there in that year to learn. Every one of you born under any or connected to any number, you need to learn and you need to internally learn about yourself so you could be externally great and reveal your greatest self. Does that make sense? If it makes sense, put the number 7 in the chat. If that makes sense to you, put the number 7, because you got to go within to bring out the great out of you. See, put the, and like I quoted yesterday, the brightness of your being is generated from within. The brightness of your being is generated from within. So in a 7 year, because it's a number of reflection, introspection, you got to go within to bring the greatest part of you out, because that 7 shaped like a right angle or arrow, it's pointing you in a direction, the right way, the right moves, the right focus, the right studies, the right mind, the right reminder of who and what you are. So 7 is a year that you need to reflect who you are, not chase money, but learn to attract it because of your deep research and your intuitive pickups and the things that you download or upload into your spirit. Big up to Erykah Badu. She said upload and download. So big up to the great Erykah Badu, born February the 26th. That sexy sister. Love her. I've met her a few times. And then she goes on to say, with this method, you can then choose to emotionally react or calmly respond. Spiritual studies are also highlighted, like I've been saying. So, because these different numerologists or metaphysics teachers all confirm one another. And that's what it's about. That's when you know it's real. It's confirmation. And most of you already know it. It's already in you. It's been there. You just need to be reminded. You just have to have that recall. You just have to realign. You just have to reassess. You just have to remember, connect to the member, remember, connect it, bring it back, realign. So she says spiritual studies are also highlighted, and you are encouraged to focus on this aspect of your life. Now is the time for studying what needs to be learned on a soul level. On a soul level. This is what Anne-Marie Uber is saying in her book. In order to move forward, you are making spiritual progress. Keep going. Don't give up. Don't run away. Run to your deeper shadow side of your spiritual side, so you can, in the shadows where you're going to find the greater light. And then you're going to bring the balance together as you're going into the 8-year cycle, which deals with the infinite balance, but it's also dealing with build and destroy. So you have it in your hands to build and destroy, because we're coming out of the 7 year in 2023, going into 2024. We're going to go into an 8-year cycle. So every cycle is going to represent some higher level that you can take it. Oh man, you better send a Cash App. Stop playing. Stop sending some PayPal to me. Stop playing. If you love what's going on here, stop playing. Send something. It's right there on the top. It's right there. So she gives an affirmation at the breakdown of all of her meanings. That's what I like about her. She gives an affirmation, and she says, the affirmation for the number 7, the student: I am calm, serene, and listen for divine guidance that is available to me in all situations. That's a good affirmation for the number 7 year, because this is her synchronicity number of the number 7. So if you're constantly seeing the number 7, she's letting you know that synchronicity is in play. And because we're going into the 2023, I'm already giving you an early blueprint of what to pay attention. And her mantra or her affirmation, it says, you're supposed to say to yourself, I am calm, serene, and listen for the divine guidance that is available to me in all situations. No matter what you're going to, divine guidance is available to you. No matter what you're going through, no matter who died in your family or transitioned, no matter who was born in, no matter who got pregnant, no matter who goes through a fight, no matter what positive, what negative, divine guidance is always available to you in any situation, in all situations. Very good book to have, Synchronicity Numbers. But as you look at this number 2023, that's why I put 2.0.2.3 = 7. As a holistic numerovator that I am. That's why when you come to me for sessions, and right now I got 8 slots left for the month of December. Those who want to book a session with me, I got 8 slots left before I go into January. 8 slots left. 8 slots left. If you want to book a session with me, you have to text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. Let me put that up in the board real quick. 347-496-1022. I got 8 slots left if you want to book a session of guidance through Numerovation, because I just don't do numerology. I keep on telling y'all, yesterday's numerology is not today's Numerovation as we continue into the future. I'm about motivating your assets so you can take your assets to the next level, whether you understand or not. At least when you get the recording, I tell you to take notes after the recording, while either during the recording and ask me all the questions you need. Don't come to me with no, because questions helps me to stimulate a better conversation and a better form of guidance for you using the numbers to help you. So I need questions. I don't just want to read you. Like I said, I don't read grown-ass people. You should know yourself, and you already innately know yourself. I'm just going to help trigger it through your numbers and make you say, and some of you run away from what you're supposed to be. And I've always sang the song with Bob Marley, running and you're running and you're running away, but you can't run away from yourself. You can't run away from yourself. You can't run away from yourself. And then Teddy Pendergrass always used to say, you can't hide from yourself. Well, anywhere you go, there you are. You can't hide. So all you need is to be reminded. And numbers can be one of the catalysts for you to be to remember who and what you need to do and who and what you are from a applied mathematical perspective. And then you could go to astrology. I suggest everybody get all the consultations from every one of them: cardologists, cosmophysics, numerology, astrology, whatever. And you'll see how they all confirm and synchronize with each other. All right, so 2023, when I see 2023, I also see the numbers 20 and 23. And those that know, in compound numerology, the number 20 is the number of awakening, discernment. Some great purpose is supposed to take place in these 2000s. Since we came into the year 2000, I've been saying 20, and sometimes when in the year 2000 it was 20, 0, 0, 0, 20, 0. You got to look at things from a holistic perspective. So I don't just see 2 plus 2, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 = 7, and then that's it. I see 20, I see 23, I see 202, I see 023, I see 322. And in the book, all of them are supporting what the numbers in her book, all of them. And what I break down is all what they support. Because when you go to the number 20 in her book, let's go to her book, it says move forward. In her book, it says the number 20 is called move forward. 20 says it is time to reassess your past, and it holds and it holds over you. The past only defines you if you let it. There's nothing holding you back because the 20 is the number of awakening. And when you awaken to your new day, you always getting up and like, what I got to do next? What's next? Because that's the number. The number 20 is the number of the awakening, awareness, discernment, judgment, and it's the number of some great purpose. So she says, there's nothing holding you back but old conditioning, old mental conditioning that's emotionally holding you back because the number 20, which is connected to the number 2, is an emotional number. So you got to learn how to balance your emotions. Because 2 is also one of the numbers of balance alongside the 2, 4, 6, and 8. Because all even numbers have their levels of balance in the studies and patterns and sequences of the supply of mathematics called numerology. And everybody practices numerology. They don't even know it sometimes. A friend of mine was telling me, he was asking a guy said he don't believe in numerology. I said, he asked the guy a time. He told him the time. I said, you believe in numerology? Because numerology means the study of numbers and its application on any level. Don't let they fool you on Wikipedia and all that. If you're using numbers at any level, if you're paying attention to numbers at any level, that is numerology. Stop playing with this. Keep it simple. If you keep it simple, you'll understand the different levels of it. Because there's levels to this ish. For real, for real. There's levels to it. There's levels to it. Can I get a witness? Everybody put in that number 7. Put the number 7 in the chat if I got a witness. If I got a witness, put the number 7 in the chat. You wear what? There's levels to this stuff. It's not one level. It's not one dimension. It's multiple dimensions. Stop playing with me, man. I don't come to debate. I come to teach. I come to guide. I come to be the humanitarian and share what is being downloaded to me by reading different things, but also from the intuition, the intuitive faculties that's also being downloaded. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Y'all putting the 7s in there. Thank y'all for them 7s. I love 7. 7 is my name is equated to the number 7. Both of my names, all my names, actually, all of my names that I have on my birth certificate, as far as my first and middle names, are all equated to the number 7. So I love the number 7. It's a fun number. It's a fun number for me. Now, she goes on to say, your spirit is pure, regardless of what the ego wants you to think. She's speaking about the number 20 in 2023. Your spirit is, it says, your spirit is pure regardless of what the ego wants you to think. There's negative and positive ego. I want y'all to confirm that, understand that. Outside of this reality is the true reality of spirit and your true home. Even outside of a vast, seemingly infinite universe is spirit, which is beyond the limits of time and space. You are limitless. The energy within you is limitless. So why are we putting limitations on us? Because the earth has laws. It has its laws of whatever. But the God, like the theme of this, the God lines and guidelines for 2023 is to understand the divinity in you and let it be your guidelines. Understand the divinity of you, which we call God or Allah or Jehovah or whatever, whether that male or female or alien nowadays. Let the God lines within you, or the God that lies within you, like Reverend Ike would say, give you the guidelines to move through, to spiral up. Don't spiral down. Don't be complacent. Be willing to spiral up. And a lot of people like to give the spiral to Fibonacci, some Italian. He got it from the Sankofa breakdown of spirals, because we've been practicing spirals for years. Good book to get. Africa Counts. They talk about the spiral. Look at that spiral right there. This is Africa Counts. This ain't Fibonacci. Everybody want to give it to Fibonacci because he's a modern day Italian mathematician. But they've been stealing from us. That's Africa Counts. Numbers and patterns in African culture. And the foreword was written by none other than John Henry Clarke. He wrote the forewords, the introduction to the book. So get the book. Let me share with you what John Henry Clarke said. I wrote it. I put it in my book too, Numerovation for Mental Stability. This book behind me here. But in the introduction says, described here for the first time is the contribution of African people. This is John Henry Clarke speaking. He wrote the foreword, the introduction to this book. Described here for the first time is the contribution of African people to the science of mathematics. Using numbers and patterns as organizing principles, Miss Zaslavsky described the numeration system, some of them highly complex, the mystical attributes of numbers, let me say that again, the mystical, this is what John Henry Clarke is saying, our great esteemed elder, geometry in art and architecture and mathematical games, all of which reveals a highly developed understanding of mathematics. She uses photographs, graphs, diagrams, personal anecdotes, and equations for African literature and oral tradition to document this important contribution to hitherto little known aspect of African culture. Good book to have. Again, this book is called Africa Counts by Claudia Zaslavsky. Powerful book to have. Now you'll start seeing that I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, family. So that number 20 in numerology, and from what she's saying, 20 says new doorways are open. Like I said, this is a new perspective, some great purpose you're supposed to do. No doorways are open. So since the 20s came in, 2000, the year 2000, new doorways of emotion has opened, new doorways to mental health, new doorways to healing, new doorways to destroying. Because when you have 0 following any number, that brings that healing or that protective energy around it, but it also brings the destructive, the possibility of destruction and the possibility of construction. It's a destruction, and it can go counterclockwise or clockwise, depending on how you use the frequency. So she said 20 says new doorways are opening to you if you will only walk through. This is a chance to change your patterns and have a new experience. Now I want to go to the 23. What she says about the number 23. 23, she says, is the green light. So we're going to be saying 2023. So we're talking about moving forward. There's a green light. When you stop, when you're driving in a car, analogy, the green light says you are to continue to go. There's no red light stopping you. To continue to go. So 23, because 23 is one of the most successful, according to certain numerologists, 23 is one of the most successful numbers in numerology. As a matter of fact, let me go to one of the old numerologies from the 1800s. Where's his book? Kiro. Kiro talks about the number 20 in this book very well. He describes it very well, very simple. And it's called the Book of Kiro. It's one of Lloyd studies this book also. So if y'all don't know, he says 23. He says 23 is called the Royal Star of the Lion. So not only is 2023 dealing with awareness and awakening and some great purpose, but the 23 adds the royal star to it of the lion and lioness. It's a promise of success, help from superiors, protection from those in high and low places, not just physically, but also spiritually. In dealing with future events, it is the most fortunate number and a promise of success for one's plans. That's all he said. He kept it simple, kept it moving. Big up to Kiro. From the 1800s, born November 1st. The book of, you see, all my book is all messed up, and with it, I study. Because in your studying, once you study, you then learn to study yourself and apply these great mystical arts to who and what you are, to help guide you, navigate you, not control you. I'm very careful about the word numbers. I told y'all about that word numbers. The root word of numbers is numbing. The root word of numbers is numbing. The root word of I think that would be called a prefix. I think ers, num is the suffix, or vice versa, whatever. But ers means hesitation, expressing hesitation. So I don't want you to be numbed or stifled in any way using the numbers. I want you to use them as a guiding apparatus. That's why I like to call them numerals, because numerals allow you to spiral. And numero, the word numero, adds up to the master number 11, which deals with spiritual guidance. Just the word numero, Numero. So that vibration of the word numerals deals with spiritual guidance, spiritual enlightenment, spiritual awareness, awakening to something. Because 11 is one of those master numbers of revealing. So getting back to the number 23, in 2023, oh, brother, y'all and sisters, y'all don't understand that I'm not new to this. And thank you for the donation, Daisy. Thank you. This is a donation driven. So if you want to support the machine, thank you for the $10 donation. Up $10, $15 and up, please, $20 and up. Anything lower, I won't acknowledge it respectfully, because this is a machine that we kind of, and I got to big up to Star from Star Report. He's always reminded me. He's a good friend of mine for many years. I've known him. We're broadcasters, we're content creators. Respect what we're doing, and I'm giving you this from out of the heart. I'm really giving it to you out of the heart, because I really want y'all to understand 2023 and don't take it lightly any year, because every year has a vibration. 2022 had the 222, and I broke that down earlier this year about the 222, the 20, the 22, the 22. I broke that down in one of my broadcasts already. You got to look even on IG on one of them. But 23, according to Synchronicity Numbers, good book to get by Anne-Marie Uber. Like I said, I don't know if she owns the Uber company, but she's connected. It says the 23 is the green light. Celebrate your good fortune. If 20 represents moving forward, and the 23 represents the green light to celebrate your good fortune, in 2023 is no time, although it's a mental number, if you don't mentally maintain a meditative, higher frequency understanding of what's going on around you, observe, don't absorb, then celebrate your good fortune in 2023. Help is on the way, good news, progress, and good fortune if you are mentally there with it. Because 2023 equates to moving forward and a green light to go and make things happen, because it's a meditative number that it adds up to. The number 7 is the number of meditation, research, and revelation and manifestation. That's what the 7 represents also, because you're supposed to meditate and research what you're doing, know your demographics, and manifest, move forward. The green light is there. This number is pretty much unstoppable, she says, the number 23. 23 in history, in our known history, according to just 2 basketball players and some singers. Ray Charles was born on the 23rd. Michael Jordan wore the 23, born on the 17th. Kobe Bryant, born on the 23rd. Wore the number 8 sometimes. Some great basketball players like to wear this number 23 because it's a successful number. It's not just because Jordan wore it. So once you understand that the vibration of 23 is connected to next year, it opens you up to good fortune. And she goes on to say, this is a yes for anything you are considering right now. It's a yes, it's a go to anything that you are considering right now. It is time to take what you were intuitively given from spirit in a vision or ideal and bring it to reality, because 23 is the 2 represents being compassionate about what you do, and 3 represents expanding in what you're compassionate about, and then it equals the number 5 that deals with adaptability, expansion, growth, promotion. So look at all the numbers and get the best of each and every number and the interpretations and unpack them and take it to the next level for your own life, because everybody is going to be connected to that. 2023. We're going to be constantly saying it all year next year. 2023. As soon as those balls drop, they're going to be saying 2023. Those balls all over the world, New York, in Asia, and all those balls. These are balls. There's a bunch of balls going to be dropping. Don't take it crazy now. Don't take it crazy. There's a bunch of balls going to be dropping for 2023. Glasses are going to be made. All kinds of stuff. So it's time to take what you were intuitively given with spirit in a vision or ideal and bring it to reality. And I want to remind everybody, you got one more day to get your tickets. If you want to join myself and the great iridologists, you have one more day to get your $44 tickets. After the 22nd, the early bird ticket price, $44, will go up to $66 until January the 11th, Mary J. Blige's birthday. Until January 11th, it will be $66 from December 22nd until January 11th. And then from January 11th to February 11th, when this event happens, inner alignment through your eyes and numero. We're going to break down how your eyes is the window to your health, and how the numerals are the inner alignment understanding. Like I'm dropping now, I'm going to drop it even deeper in this workshop. And it's real reasonable. 44 was the early bird tickets from December 11th to December 22nd. Tomorrow's the last day. And you can go to the Linktree on the bottom. Let me put the Linktree. Let me take that off real quick. The Linktree. The Linktree right there, Linktree / King Simon the Numerovator. Go to Linktree / King Simon the Numerovator. Linktree / King Simon the Numerovator. If you can't pay by Eventbrite, you can pay by Cash App. You just have to send me your email. You got to text me your email if you're going to pay by Cash App or PayPal. Maybe you don't want to pay the surcharges of Eventbrite. It's all right. But once you go to my Linktree, the first slot on my Linktree is the inner alignment through your eyes, iridology, because your eyes are the windows to your soul, with this beautiful sister, Dr. Shakira Moore. Her and I had a nice little business conversation last night for at least an hour. And your numerals. So I'm gonna have multiple different people that I'm gonna be working with, and it's predominantly sisters, because this is the years of the sisters, and I want to be of support of the sisters. I don't want to be against my sisters. I want to be in support of sisters, because the number 2 in numerology also represents the feminine on top and the masculine support on the bottom. Number 2, let me say that again, represents the feminine on top, that curve, and then the straight line represents in flow line numerology. And let me take this down, because y'all better get y'all tickets. Your $44 tickets is going to be up on the 22nd. In flow line numerology, where you find it in this book, Beginner's Guide for Divination, very good book to get. The number 2, as it's, and I'm going to show you, look at the number 2 in 2023. Look at the number 2. This is all a learning moment. This is a learning moment for all of you, for men and women. So why you got sisters talking about black girl magic and all that? We're in the years of the women, the females. The number 2 is a feminine number. But the curve on top of that 2, leading to that line, that's the support that's holding up the curve, says that the feminine will be on top. They will make the hook, because the 2 looks like a hook, and it's hooking on to the universal things of the universal intuitive attitude that they're bringing, the black girl magic. The line, the straight line, remember, curves, like the curves of a woman, represents the feminine. The linear represents the masculine, like the penis and the breasts, or the penis and the vagina. Vagina is like an oval shape of curves inside. So understand. And yeah, some penis is curves. All right, so stop playing. Okay. Yes, whatever. I'm talking about just the concept of the curves and the straight line. All right. So the 2 represents the feminine parts on top, and the curve, the straight line, represents the masculine support. So men are supposed to support women in the years of the 2000s. Support them with love, respect, because if they climb up, you will go up. I guarantee it. I don't say guarantee so much, but because I deal with the mathematics, I guarantee this. Because mathematics is Islam, Islam is mathematics. Mathematics is life, and life is mathematics, and it can always be proven at any point in time, according to the lessons. So respect the feminine's climb, but sisters, it's letting you know, because that line is attached, you ain't going nowhere without the man, and the man ain't going nowhere without you. Simple as that. Asheo, asheo, asheo. You know what I'm saying? And if you bear witness, if you understand that, brothers and sisters, pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Okay, moving forward. I'm focusing. So, again, the 23 in 2023, all things are coming your way and working out in your favor. If you are feeling positive about something, it is justified in 2023 because, again, Anne-Marie Uber, in her synchronicity book of numbers, synchronicity numbers, the 20 represents moving forward, and then 23 represents the green light. Now let's go to 202, because I'm looking at this from a holistic perspective. So when I go to her number 20, go to 202 in her book, and you're going to see how it all supports each other. This is so beautiful. 202 represents 2 paths. This number has to do with duality and the opposing choices. You are being given a choice to choose right over wrong. Think about it now. I don't just see 2023 as a holistic numerologist or holistic numerovator. And by the way, you can take my course online. You can take my course online. If you want to take the 2-hour course, which is an introductory course, here it is. You can go to udemy.com. Holistic Numerovation. Oh yeah, I'm showing you how to look at numbers from a holistic, but that's an introductory class. It's really a teaser. But if you want the full course, 8-hour uncut course, the limited rate is only $333 right now. But on my birthday, February 1st, it's going to be $444, and then I'm going to leave it right there. I'm not going to go up past that. Boom. Again, family. She says because I'm looking at things from a holistic perspective. So 202 in 2023 represents the 2 paths, opposing choices, a choice between right and wrong. This number represents a doorway of both the light and the dark to enter. Which path are you going to choose? The higher path of self leading back to spirit, or the lower path leading to temptation and eventual misery? That's what I see when I see 2023. When I see that 202, I broke down the 20 and the 23. I broke down the 7 already. Now I see 2023. I see 202. The tempting path many times bring in our desires, but almost always trap us in the end. So you got to pay attention to both paths. Are you going to take the higher path in 2023, or are you going to go down the lower path in 2022? That is the decision you have to make also. When you realize your divine spirit, this higher choice may have to be made repeatedly because the lower energies will continue to interfere. Let me say something. According to studies at MIT years ago, of over 25 years, Les Brown and many others have mentioned this, it takes 17 positive. It takes 16 positives to knock out 1 negative, because negativity is so strong in this realm. So what she's saying about the 202 number, she says, when you realize you are divine spirit, This higher choice may have to be repeated because the lower energies will continue to interfere. So negativity is so strong in this realm that we have to constantly bombard ourselves with positive music, positive affirmation, positive messages, positive everything to offset the negative that's so pervasive on this earth. Oh, man, I'm telling you, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. So please like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And send some PayPal love. Don't worry. And send some Cash App love. I got no problems with that because it helps with the machine. Thank you, Daisy, for already sending. I shouted out Daisy already. Big up to Daisy. See, people that respect me will send. People that don't respect me, they just do what they do, you know? And one day you're not going to be able to contact me like that easy anymore, you know, because I got other levels to go in this. And if you don't respect what I'm doing, you know, that's up to you. I'm letting you know that, you know, this is a machine. I work for myself. I'm not on a job. I'm not on a 9 to 5. I don't do it. I respect people that do have that. But when you're putting out information of guidance, you got to respect what that person is doing, because this is a gift. This is a gift to interpret other people's work that I've pulled out. The Indian numerologist. I've pulled out Anne-Marie Uber's book. I pulled out the beginner's divination. I pulled out Doreen Virtue's book if I have to. I pulled out and I pulled out mine because I tried to incorporate, because I'm looking at things from a holistic perspective. Got to do that. Now, moving on from 202. And 202, again, you got two paths to choose from: high, low, dark, light, dark, light. Some people need to go to the darkness to find the light. Got it. No problem. I will always choose wisely because I allow my spirit to choose for me. Let your spirit choose for you. That is her affirmation. She says, I always choose wisely because I allow. Just like the great Dr. B. Sirius says, I allow. Get up and say, I allow my spirit to choose the higher for me every morning. Get up there and allow yourself. Allow yourself to be grateful. Allow yourself. I've been on since 11 o'clock. I allow myself to be on from 11 o'clock. Also, I want to talk about 320 and 322. Because if you're dyslexic, and not laughing at anybody that has dyslexia, but you might see 320 or 322 removing the zero. And even in her book, when you're looking at the reflection of it, 320 or 322. Let's go into a book, Synchronicities. You might see the reflection of that 2023. The backwards. You might see it backwards. And that's why I want to show you in her book, Synchronicity, because we're dealing with the book. Thank you very much, Stephen, for sending a donation. Thank you very much. It's very appreciative. Very appreciative. Believe me, it goes a long way. 320, or I'm going to go to 320 because backwards is 320, or if you remove the zero, it's 322. So let's go to 320 in her Synchronicity book, and let me break it down for y'all. But when I break it down, I break it down. Good book to have. Blue Pill has it. Blue Pill heard me teach about this book before, and he bought the book. Big up to Blue Pill 44. My man, the 44 himself. And remember, if you want to book a session with me, I have 8 slots left. I have 8 slots in the month of December left open. That means you will get to talk to me, nobody else, until I set my paper call thing. Paper Camino. Make sure y'all check out the great Miss Cleo documentary on HBO Max. It was good. Just to go to show you that she was a real breakdown. She may not have been a real Jamaican, but she knew how to use, she was a number 3, and she knew how to use her antics and her spiritual systems that she studied. And she was the real deal. It's just that when you have too many people that don't know what you're doing and you're the spokesperson, of course, things is going to get fraudulent. And then the people that she was working for, it wasn't her name at all. She was being used by 2 Europeans that destroyed that sister's name, Miss Cleo. So I already knew this without even watching the documentary. I already knew it because I felt it in my spirit. I felt it in my spirit. I felt it in my spirit. And when I broke down Miss Cleo's number, it added up to the master number 11 in one sense, but it added up to the 2. So people born connected to the master number 11 or the number 2 are intuitive people. I already knew it. And her alignment number, when you add the 8 plus the 12, that equals 20. Again, that's an intuitive number. So I knew Miss Cleo was real deal. But they destroyed my sister, and she died of cancer. They destroyed my sister. So go support the documentary. Deborah from Mad TV is on it. Big up to Deborah. That's a friend of mine, Deborah from Mad TV, who used to be on Mad TV. And Raven Simone is on it. Everybody grew up watching Miss Cleo, Camino. You know, big up to Kevin for sending that. Although I'm looking for $10 and up, Kevin. You sent $5, but I'm looking for $10 up. But I'm going to shout you out anyway. I'm going to give you that respect. You know what I'm saying? Give you that respect. As it's scrolling on the bottom, it's $10 and up. That's what it says. But going to 320, because the 2023 backwards, just in case, it's the reflection thing. Like if you put a mirror to it, you're going to see 320. And that's how the universe works in duality. In her book, Synchronicity, she says 320 represents fairy godparents. 320 carries the message of success in all ventures and karmic rewards. It is a number of movement and group support. People want to back you and whatever it is you are trying to accomplish. You can move up the ladder at work, get the relationship you want, find ways to improve your home life and success in any venture. That's all she says. And then the mantra or the affirmation for it, I accept my good now. That's it. So when you start seeing 320 or 320 all the time, and I'm looking at it from a dyslexic point of view, where you're seeing the reverse of the number 3202. Thank you very much, Kevin. Oh, my brother Kevin. Oh, Kevin. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much. He sent me another 5. Thank you, Kevin. Respect to you, sir. He sent me another 5. I see it popping up, so I'm respecting what y'all doing. I respect everybody that sent me a Cash App or PayPal or whatever. Matter of fact, if I see it, I can only see my PayPal on Stephen, Daisy, Kevin. Thank y'all very much already, man. Thank y'all so much. Y'all don't know how sometimes it's hard to sometimes somebody like me who've been through a lot of emotional stuff with my family find it hard. When you wasn't supported at a certain point in time, or you didn't feel you were supported. Maybe they were supporting in secret, but what you don't feel that people support you in multiple ways. And I think, believe me, that little bit that you send, $10 and up, it goes a long ways, and it's respectful. Big up, like Brother Panic always say. It pays its bills. You know what I'm saying? StreamYard costs like $400 to $500 a year, so it pays bills. It does pay bills, but I believe in circulation. So the more you circulate, the more come back to you 10 or 100 folds. So it comes back to me 100 folds, what I'm doing, what I'm putting out there for the people from my heart. So again, 320 backwards at 2023, go backwards, 320 represents your fairy godparents. So look at those numbers. When you start seeing numbers like that and looking at 2023 going backwards, you see those 3 numbers, you see the fairy godmother. You see that fairy godmother. If you remove the 0 and just say 322, let's go to that in her book. It says, reach for the skies. In the Synchronicity book, she talks about reach for the skies. This is a fortunate number as long as you are not naive about your circumstances, but even then, all will work out in the end. So reach Come on, let's reach for the sky. Come on, just reach. Everybody just reach. In 2023, go within. Look within. Find the success patterns that you can develop. Do your inner research so you can bring the best out of you and reach for the sky. You remember that song, Reach? Sky's the limit and you know the truth. Keep on and keep on pressing on. Sky's the limit and you know the truth. Have what you want. That song is powerful. Go listen to that song later. Sky is the limit and you know the truth. Keep on and keep on pressing on. Sky is the limit and you know the truth. You have what you want. Go reach. It says reach. The faith and fresh approach to situations and people will be reported, will be rewarded. So she says, this is a fortunate number, that 322. I'm looking at it backwards. If I remove the 0, 2023 backwards is 322. And she says in the synchronicity books, if you start to see that number over and over again, because we're going to be, remember, our eyes look at things in reversal. It projects to our mind what it actually is. So we're actually seeing it in reverse, and then it projects into our mind what we see 2023. So we see it as 3202, but then it projects to our mind that it's 2023. So I'm looking at it from a backwards perspective. And she says in the synchronicity book that 322 is reach for the skies. This is a fortunate number, as long as you are not naive about your circumstances. But even then, all will work out in the end. Faith and a fresh approach to situations and people will be rewarded. And that goes all the way to the number 7, because 3 + 2 + 2 = 7. And if she's saying there's a fresh report, a fresh approach you have to deal with, that means you have to do the research, study your demographics, because number 7 is a research, introspective number that you meditate on, research, and then manifest. So you have to have faith and have a fresh approach to what you want to do. Stop looking at your old paradigm. Stop looking at the old ways of trying to do things. Stop trying to do the same thing over and over again and try to get the results. We know what that's called. When you try to do the same thing over and over again, use the same methodology over and over again to try to get a new result, that's called insanity. So don't be insane, family. Don't be insane in the membrane. Don't be insane in the membrane. On that note, I'm going to get ready to close off. I want to thank people like Anne-Marie Uber, good book to get, Synchronicity Numbers. I used this book also. The first book that I used was Harish Johari. Another book that I used was Beginner's Guide to Divination. Another good book to get. It's an old book, Kiro's Book of Numbers. And another good book I didn't mention, but this one is called Your Days Are Numbered. You can see how old this book is. I don't even have the original cover. I had to get this whole thing covered over. Your Days Is Numbered by Florence Campbell. And of course, my books. Stop playing. Stop playing, family. I hope you enjoyed it. I thank everybody that sent the Cash App. That means they showing me love. Or sent a PayPal. They showing me love. And if you're watching this broadcast after this broadcast is over, please continue to show love through PayPal and Cash App. I'm talking about those that might be overseas, those that may be working and can't watch it now. Please consider keep on sending love and keeping this machine going, because it's all about giving of myself, my talents, and my gift. 2023 adds up to a number 7. Let's go to the number 7 in my book real quick before I close out, because I got other things to do and preparing to do some meetings. And I got people that are texting me right now that want to book a session. Remember, I have 8 slots left. 8 slots left. 8 slots left for the month of December. So if you want to book a session with me, by all means, let's do it. 8 slots left in the month of December. I caught up to my waiting list, my long ass waiting list. My waiting list was like 6 months, almost a year. Let's go to the number 7 in my book. It says, since we're going into 2022, 2023. Remember, this is not just for the 7 person, but it's the vibration and the theme of that particular year. Whenever you read my books, look at it as a vibration of that particular year. No matter if you're not born on the 7th, if you're not connected to the 7th, but if your name is connected to the 7th, your life path, your alignment number, your soul urge, whatever's connected, your vowels, your consonants, whatever's connected to that 7, look at that 7 and take full advantage of that 7 in the higher frequency. And what I say in my book, the number 7 is the symbol of spiritual growth and development of higher intuitive understanding. The number 7 is known as a symbol of eternal combination of the creator and the nature of man. Number 7 people are considered the researchers, but number 7 itself is the vibration of researchers, philosophers, and metaphysics teachers. They can be extremely observant and very studious as they learn to understand their path in life. The 7 is the number of meditation. It's the number of visualization methods to aim higher and for your higher goals for themselves. The number 7 person are advised not to let external situations worry them, because that can lead to depression, lower thoughts, and isolation. Also, it's important that they research before making certain commitments. Known as the chariot in the tarot, the conquest of the mind over emotion is an essential goal to overcome imbalance. The inner works of the number 7, is to strengthen your spiritual powers through meditation and prayer. Using affirmation and visualization techniques will aid you in maintaining a clear mind and healthy thought patterns throughout your life. So in the number 7 year, you got to look out for that. Make sure you develop a healthy thinking pattern in that 2023. It's in my book, and like I said, related to every connective part of your numbers when you read my books. Very important. Again, family, I want to thank those that was able to share. That's right, Mystic. Make that change. Michael Jackson sung that song. You got to make that change. I'm looking for the man in the mirror. Oh, yeah, I'm looking. Make that change. Oh, yeah. That's right. And again, 2023 is a favorable number, both positive and negative, for people born on the 7th, the 20th, the 16th, or the 25th of every month, of any month. Next year, 2023, as we're closing off this year, 2023 is good for those born on the 7th, 16th, or 25th of any month, and those connected to Cancer and Pisces in a minor level, but primary Cancer. So everybody gets their turn. Every number is connected to an astrology. Every number is connected to a gender, masculine, feminine. Every number is connected to an element. Just remember that. So, and every number has a flow line, whether it represents masculine or feminine, it has a flow line that creates the number. Again, look at the man and woman in the mirror. In numerology, the mirror, the word mirror has the double R. So when you see doubling numbers in names or words, doubling letters in names or words, and you equate them to, and you connect them to the numbers, the double R in Pythagorean represents 99. The double R in the Chaldean represents the 22. So 92 master numbers are within that 99 dynamic. So look at the mirror of higher understanding, higher awareness, humanitarian service, and completion with the 99 in the mirror of yourself. And then because in the Chaldean system, it adds up to the 22. The 99 is 22. Then look at the master builder and the healing mirror of yourself, that reflection that you look at every day. Give yourself a high five. Give yourself a pound. Step back and kiss yourself like like James Brown used to do. It's all right. You can kiss yourself. You can say you're a beautiful motherfucker. You can say you're a handsome Negro or a handsome God or a beautiful goddess. You can say that to yourself. It's all right. It's all right. That's the mirror that you got to look at every day and reflect and keep your levels high, keep your vibration high. All right? I love you because I love myself truly now than I ever did. And I don't like to say it all the time, but I wrote that book, Numerovation for Mental Stability, because two of my friends took their life and they were both born under the mental health number connected to the number 4. And in my book, for Numerovation for Mental Stability, and I say it, and in that particular book, family, this is why I wrote the book in 2020. And 2 + 0 + 2 + 0 = 4. And 4 is one of the major mental health numbers in the book. So you have 5 major mental health numbers. Motivation is so important today. Numerovation for Mental Stability, get your copy today. And you can go to Linktr.ee / King Simon the Numerovator. That's Linktr.ee / King Simon the Numerovator. And also get this book. Get this book right now. Numbers are simple. People are complicated. I give you also the comparison between the 2 different frequencies. If you're dating somebody or if you're with somebody, I have that in the back of the book, relationship complications, and also understanding it and how to work through it in a brief manner. But it's in that book. Numbers are simple. People are complicated. Go to Linktree. You can order your copies right now. Order your copies right now through Linktree. And if you want all of my books, they're all available. Numerovation for Mental Stability. Numbers are simple. People are complicated. Numbers are simple. Children's health is important. And no promotion is bad promotion. How to promote my life of promotion and how to promote any of your business from a small level to a higher level. Through any means, any way, anyhow. I wrote that book in 2012. That was my first book. Go and get it. Go get all of the books. It's a good gift to anybody, or you can buy it as a Kwanzaa gift or a Hanukkah gift or a Christmas if that's what you're still celebrating. Go ahead. Buy a book. That's what I bought my children. Only books back in the day. Everybody else bought toys. I bought books. They got a library too. They got a collection too. But all this belongs to them when I transition. All of this is theirs. I just tell them if they're not going to keep it, give it to a reputable Black institution that will cherish these books, because predominantly all these books are with Black people wrote them, but a lot of the metaphysics books is a mixture of everybody, or give it to a metaphysics college or somebody, or the Schomburgs or whatever. I tell my children that, if they can't keep it, they can't keep the library or create a library, then give it to a great institution when I transition. That's how I want it to go down. And again, family, I love and respect you. Stay focused. And we're going to close out with our dear sister. This has been the Guidelines and Guidelines for 2023, using various different systems and perspectives, because that's all it is a different perspective. And I gave my interpretation. And just remember, family, the brightness of your being is generated from within you. Find your brightness. Find your light. All right? I'm going to close out with this song, and I'm going to run some commercials while I'm closing out. I won't be talking it up, but I'll just run down these commercials while I play this beautiful lady's song, Kecia L. Jones. I'm going to close out with her song. And if you want to pre-order her books, she got a new book. If you want to pre-order her books, get an astrologer. She's not only an astrologer, she's a fantastic sister. You can pre-order her book called Go Be God, Unlocking the Doors of Your Divinity by Kecia L. Jones. Pre-order her book and get her motivational music at the same time as you pre-order the book. Motivational music by Kecia L. Jones. Her website is KeciaLJones.com. That's KeishaLJones.com. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Be safe, be great, and love yourself immensely, family. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Peace.
There is a beauty that comes that only comes when you know exactly who you are. You're glorious. When you know the power of your own divinity. I am. To be fully human and fully divine. I am divine. Every single thing about you is beautiful. Every single thing about you is beautiful. I am divine. I am divine. Every single thing. I am fully human. Every single thing. I am every single thing. I am brilliant. Every single thing. I am gorgeous. Every single thing. You are glorious. Every single thing. You are beauty. Every single thing. You are light. Every single thing. You are every single thing. You are magic. About you is beauty. Every single thing about you is every single thing. Every single thing about you is glorious. Every single thing your breath is your every single thing. It is the clearest, most distinctive reminder that you are a spirit in human form. It is the core that reminds you of you is beauty. So now, let's take a breath. Breathe in. You are glorious. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. Breathe in. You are wisdom. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Your breath is your power tool. Every single thing about you is beautiful. It is your righteous alignment. Every single thing technician. Every single thing about you. It reminds you that you are spirit. Every single thing about you is righteous. It reminds you that you are spirit in right alignment with yourself. It reminds you that you are eternal. Breathe. It reminds you, it reminds you, it reminds you, it reminds you. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. Inner Alignment Workshop Through Your Eyes and Your Numero with Dr. Shakira Moore and King Simon on February 11, 2023. Dr. Shakira and King Simon. Get your tickets now at Linktr.ee/King Simon the Numerovator. Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon the Numerovator. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for mental stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now.